everybody. Well, another year is passed since my last update where we went to the Global Leadership Summit. And as a team again this year, we went to what's called the Global Leadership Summit, sponsored by Willow Creek Community Church. And as always, I walked away with a whole bunch of things I learned, and I'll try to implement some of them. But let me share with you some of the important lessons that I learned. The first one is that anyone can fall. And I think this is one of the most valuable lessons because the leader of the summit has kind of fallen from grace from the church and really from society based on allegations that seem pretty real related to inappropriate sexual behavior. So, I look at that and think, how many leaders start believing that they are above reproach, that they're above kind of the law, that they're above moral standards? And I think it's really dangerous as leaders because we can fall in this trap of people saying nice things about us, maybe somebody writing something good, and we start believing our own press. So that's I think probably most valuable lesson for me is that anyone can fall. Another great lesson is from T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes said, if you have a vision everyone believes in, it's too small. So what does that mean? Aren't leaders supposed to cast vision that people believe in? Well, his point is that perhaps we're casting visions that are too small, that people believe too quickly. What if we could do much more than we believe? So cast visions that are crazy, that are strange, that are so far out there that only a few people maybe believe because they know you, but cast bigger visions. A guy by the name of Strive Masayawa did an interview, and he made a comment that was shared from some of the other speakers. It said, our best people are volunteers. Our best people are volunteers. And what does that mean? Well, I work for a for-profit company. Our best people get paid pretty good money. But what the point is that our very best people have so many job opportunities and options that they are choosing every single day to come work for you as the leader, to come work for your organization. So do we treat them as volunteers or do we treat them as indentured servants? So we have to remember our very best people are volunteers and treat them like that. Danielle Strickland talked about the gender advantage, and she talked about the fact that when you have a workforce that's diverse, you have an implicit advantage in terms of the way your business is run. I've extended that to the gender and diversity advantage because there was some talk about diversity also in terms of cultures, and really walked away believing even more so than I had before that we have to do a better job of elevating women in our business, but also elevating people that are diverse. Maybe they have different religious beliefs. Maybe they are a different skin color. Maybe they come from a different cultural background. Maybe they have different sexual orientation, whatever it might be. The point is that when we get people in the room that are diverse, that are gender difference, all those type of things, we're more likely to learn from each other if we take a posture of learning, not a posture of, well, they're different and here's how they're different. So the gender diversity advantage is simply those companies that embrace differences in gender, differences in diversity, will have an advantage in the marketplace. Erwin McManus talked about this concept. He said that I will not die with arrows in my quiver. And he talked about a number of things, but the point there is that to just keep fighting and keep going as hard as you can to the very end. And the quote he said that I loved is he said, everybody asks for permission to start, but nobody asks for permission to finish or to quit. And my point there is that think about all the things you do in life where you say, okay, can we start? And then you finish without asking, can we finish? And are you leaving arrows in the quiver? Are you actually quitting right before you're going to make a breakthrough? So don't leave any arrows in your quiver. Simon Sinek, a regular speaker at the summit and noted professional speaker and TED Talk wizard and all these things, he talked about a really cool concept that I liked, which was, in what we do in life or in our business, are we playing a finite or are we playing an infinite game? And there's a significant difference. So a finite game is a game that has a clear winner and a clear loser, and typically a clear ending. So maybe an example of a finite thing might be a month, where we have to finish the month and there's a number involved, and we want to be able to achieve some sales number in a month. An infinite game is when there really isn't a finish, that it's going to go on forever and ever. And what he used as an example to mark the difference between people fighting finite games and infinite games is the Vietnam War. And he said one of the challenges is that as a country, we were fighting a finite game. We thought we were going into that war to win, and that we would end, and then we would win or lose. The Vietnamese people were not fighting a finite game. They were fighting a game for their life and their survival of their society. And they didn't really look at the measures of success from a war. They just said, we're going to keep fighting until we end. So we were stuck fighting a finite game against an enemy fighting an infinite game, and it's hard to win that. In business, he talked about the fact that to fight an infinite game, he encouraged us to fight infinite games, fight for the long term, that we need to have what's called a worthy rival. And a worthy rival is not necessarily a worthy competitor, so it's not like necessarily a company, but maybe it's an idea. And for us in our company, what I've been talking about is that our worthy rival is us today. So what my belief is that if we treat what we're doing today as the minimum bar, then we can continually look to improve. So if I look out a year from now, my worthy rival from a year from now will be us who we were 11 months from now. Right? So constantly saying, it doesn't matter if we improved in the next 6 months, we have a new worthy rival that got better, and that was us. So it's this idea of constantly improving. And finally, I'll end with something I enjoyed. The very first talk was by Craig Groeschel, and I really felt as though he reinforced a lot of the things that we've been doing as a company. So for our company, we have a pretty strong purpose statement. That we really focus on, how do we, our purpose statement is to equip our employees with intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and financial resources to positively impact their families and communities. So it's a lot there, but what we're trying to say is that we want to build into employees and we expect them to build into others around them. And as he talked about some of the things, he talked about building a culture of trust. Well, one of the things that we value is trust in a leader and being vulnerable. So I heard a lot of things that said to us as a team, keep doing what you're doing. So that was really good. So anyways, that's another quick wrap on Global Leadership Summit 2018. 7 key points, as I talked about. Number 1, anyone can fail. Number 2, if you have a vision everyone believes in, it's too small. Number 3, our best people are volunteers. Number 4, the gender and diversity advantage. This idea that we need to lift up people that are different than us and be really curious about how they are and their beliefs and everything, and that helps us grow. The next one is, the 5th one is, I will not die with arrows in my quiver. So we're going to keep going, keep shooting the arrows until they're all gone. We're not going to quit until we've done everything possible. Simon Sinek said, fight the infinite game, means it goes on forever against a worthy rival, which is ourselves. And then finally, the takeaway was that, we're doing some things right. We're going to keep doing that. Thanks a lot. Until next time, have a great day.